So that cartwheel gainer should have moved.
Did anyone deduct that one
Did
for
anyone
traveling
deduct
backwards?
that? That was a long cartwheel gainer full, traveled about 3 feet backwards.
I mean, you can obviously take execution, but that's not what our issue is. Our issue is distribution.
Right.
But
Distribution and routine.
my issue is, are you taking off for not gainering? Or am I gonna,
Oh, sure. For the technique they're doing, sure.
everyone did take it off for not gainering?
No, I think that's a very good point.
No,
These are
listen.
1 foot takeoff back layout fulls is what they are. And what you're talking about, the technique of a true gainer, I never even knew that you're really expecting it, because this is only a B. Look at it. Who here thinks that 1 foot takeoff back full is a C?
So, what is our answer? I mean,
Well, that's very interesting if you demand the gainer technique. Yeah.
what?
Well, I don't know
Say
your
she's not
hand,
doing a
but,
gainer technique.
right, and talk about the expectations of that type of dismount.
Yeah, we can do that, but we're still backing up to the distribution issue.
I think, didn't we discuss that earlier today? From what I understand, because we've been having this discussion for over 20 years. And so, I mean, Steve Shepard here is going to blow by the end of the weekend. You're not? I'm not tasering you. But from what I gathered from the discussion we had earlier this morning, was that if an athlete does the minimum requirement, there cannot be a deduction. And if an athlete goes beyond that, you're going to give them the benefit of the doubt with your execution.
You're going to see.
If an athlete does, well, that's exactly what we're just saying with the double back, right?
Yeah.
Double back?
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay, a pure double back, you should have your knees together, right? How many athletes actually do that?
That's what we're saying. It's very
But if you do a
likely.
double back and you land it and you control it, you're going to give that athlete the benefit of the doubt with that skill versus taking a deduction with the gainer full because you were satisfying the minimum requirement.
You can't do that.
You can't do that.
You cannot regulate how some people are going to deduct and some people
Right,
are
that's
not.
exactly what I was going to say. I mean, that's up to your discretion. At least if you've got the .05, it's built in, you know you've got to take it. It's not going to be up to, you know, somebody who likes or doesn't like
Right,
it.
that's what I'm asking you. That's what I want you guys to understand.
Where are we?
Oh,
She said that it can be taken under dynamics. If you want to take the .05.
Okay, so our question is, Kristen and I felt like in the distribution category, you only have 05 to work with. It's 05 or nothing. So if we can use this as a separator, we felt like this would separate this level of a dismount series versus a higher level of a, say, a bonus dismount series or more difficult dismount. It would give us a tool to separate. If the coaches committee tells us that they don't want us to do that, then we won't take it, but then tell us when to take it. You know, if it's only going to be applied when they do punch, run, pull, or run gainer off the end pike, or, you know, standing gainer full. But as judges, you know, we would like that to use.
Instead of taking that in that category, would it be more apropos to take it in the dynamic category?
You could. Amplitude, yes. But the dynamics, it could be the dynamics of the routine went downhill, which is good.
But it's just like gator full, and you have that very undynamic. Or even an undynamic.
So if you guys on your committee would like to give us some more direction on that, that would be great.
Could I just follow up on her gainer full dismount thing? I think the point is, all gainer fulls, well, the words that they're using, gainer fulls off the sides are going backwards. If we just translate that to going off the end, if they did a backward gainer full and went backwards, they'd be landing back on the beam.
Correct.
So a true gainer full is going forward, a backward gainer full. Those dismounts that we're seeing are just a one-footed takeoff backward full, which is a B, not a C. That's what we're saying. And, I mean, we've been giving them Cs, but, I mean, that was not a gainer full. That was a cartwheel backward full dismount.
Right.
With a 1 foot takeoff. That's a B dismount. I mean, if you take gainer as its true definition.
It's a swing through.
That's another session.
I mean, all those, Carol, all those should just be Ds.
What they just said is very, very huge.
So you're saying you want us to give that a B and take it off the special requirement?
Well, that has to go out to every single judge that coaches college.
More importantly, that needs to go to every coach, so they change it.
Because every single college gymnast does their C dismount like that.
Or they fight
That's
down.
Debbie?
Because every single college gymnast does their
When
gainer.
I'm on the floor judging a dismount like this, I find a way in execution to see if the salto had rise, if it had enough flight, and I find my way to take that half-tenth if I need to.
Without taking, are you talking about distribution, you're talking about the technique?
So that goes back to dynamic. You're doing
So
it
Carol,
on
you
Back to
dynamic
dynamics,
versus.
I guess.
You'd give it a C.
I never thought of that. No, have I given it a B? No, but he's made me think. And I've asked everybody in this room to come to this with a clear mind and an open mind and be
Well, if you just-
receptive to other ideas, so.
If you just looked at it again, I mean, it seems very clear, and the problem that I'm having a little bit is when we look at distribution, now this athlete had a B-C combination, she did a BBD, she had a D, and then she did a C dismount in combination. Granted, it was just with an A. So she's done more than just a C. So from a distribution standpoint, it seems like we've met everything. Now you're saying, what I'm hearing is, we need to take .05 because we need to separate. Well, wait a second, we're not asking for a double back dismount. That's not in the special requirements. So, I think Ray's point is really valid. When you look at this again, let's reevaluate the technique that's being used. And then we probably would be justified in calling that a B. Which would make every college coach very thrilled.
And I think you're probably right, but
That's the way to go with
Ray's
that.
point is very
It's
well
correct.
taken. We are not here to rewrite the rules today.
Right.
And we're not going to go out there and say that this is a B and change the way, athletes have prepared, seniors, this is what the dismount is. We're not going to change that. That doesn't come from us. It goes through 3 layers of committees. But it certainly is food for thought. And I think the coaches realize now the dilemma that we have as officials in separating particularly the high-level athletes that are extremely clean.
Yeah.
This certainly needs to go on the docket, and we can discuss this spring and run it through, that this would be a clear way to separate. It would be impossible and probably not well advised to try and make a rule change at the end of October that's going to affect so many people. My question to the judging community is there a deduction within technical execution that you could take that says a gainer full must travel forward, a gainer skill must travel in the opposite direction of the somersault rotation. So can I take .05 if the kid with the huge cartwheel gainer layout full does go backwards?
sure.
All right, so what we've said is that if you agree with that understanding, then this year when you're watching college athletes dismount beam that way, you should feel empowered to evaluate that technically, and if you don't think that a gainer full should travel backwards on dismount, then you have the right and responsibility to go ahead and deduct for that technical error. And we can, at the end of this year, go ahead and clarify in very specific terms what a gainer full is supposed to be, and then give everybody the chance to learn how to do a round off again over the summer.